Okay, so here we go. We're cooking on charcoal. There we go. It was holding a 350 degree. Hello there, everybody. So my wonderful wife for Father's Day got me this Chargrill grill for outside, and it's a dual purpose. So it is gas on one side and it is charcoal on the other. And I've wanted one of these for a while because I love cooking on charcoal, but sometimes gas is faster. But anyway, hopefully we're going to take this box and we're going to turn it into this. I love this thing. It's just big enough. I mean, there's only 2 of us in the house, but we don't usually cook for that many people. So let's get this thing unboxed and let's see what happens here. There's not that many parts to this thing, but be careful and make sure you check the backs of all the styrofoam fillers, because some of them have pockets in the back of them with parts in it. So you don't want to throw away some parts before you actually get your grill together. But here's the parts. You can see it's not really that many, but pull out the instructions. Yeah, I'm going to follow the instructions this time. I'm going to make sure this thing is great, and we're going to get to putting it together. Okay, first pro tip, and I'm not a pro, but first of all, it is hot. Ooh, it's hot out here. I've been out here for like 15 minutes and I'm already sweating like a stuck pig. I don't know where that saying came from, but when you look at this, hopefully you can see this okay. This side is a little taller than this side because that's the side the wheels have to go on. So remember, the side the wheels have to go on is the one with the bent frame in the middle. This one just has a standard straight frame. But when you're putting these bolts in through here, hopefully you can see that. Do yourself a favor and put the washers, the locking washers, on the nuts first, because I don't have big old Les Grossman hands. Hopefully you get that reference. So some of you guys with the sausage fingers are gonna have a hard time unless you've already got the lock washers on there. And don't tighten them up all the way as you go. Get them all in there first when you're putting the basic frame together, because it's got to flex a little bit for you to be able to get them all in and get everything lined up. Also, I don't know if you noticed, excuse my bumpy camera work here, but you can see I used a 4x4 right down there to make these 2 sides as level as I possibly can while I'm putting this together. Hopefully you're not getting dizzy from the camera whirring around. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to hold it up in front of my face here, but you can see how small that bolt is and how actually small and dainty that lock washer is. So that's what I'm talking about, you guys with the sausage fingers. Set them up first, because there's like 32 of them. Here we go, just so you can see, I got 2 bolts here. 2 bolts here, they come in from the bottom. And just the same ones on the other side, there and there. None of them are tightened up yet. I'm gonna tighten those up now. We'll move on to the next part. So when it's tightened up, that's what it should look like. Remember, this is the side I just pointed there with my foot. That's the side the wheels are gonna go on. Pro tip again, when you gotta put this piece on, you've got to make sure that some of these bolts here are still loose, because you need some give in this leg in order to slide this in. So we are putting the wheels on now, which are pretty simple, other than I think they have a little flaw in the instructions, because it tells you to use a cotter pin, but we have large hair cotter pins and we have small hair cotter pins. And as you can see, it doesn't tell you which one, but I'm going to assume, since we only need 2, that it's the large hair, because there's only 2 of those. So get the wheels on. All right, another little tiny issue with the instructions. It shows you to put a cotter pin and a washer on each side, but it's not measured off to do that. So one side we went washerless, otherwise the cotter pin wouldn't get in there, and I wasn't about to shave down any parts on this. Should still work absolutely fine though. These are the worst directions ever, step 4 and step 5. It's really hard to understand unless you figure out working it against the where the wheels are, the wheel side. But the 2 things you need to put in are literally 3 things. There's one here, I hope you can see it. There's one there, I hope you can see it. And then there's one right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm filming upside down, but whoever wrote these instructions, shame on you. Not gonna lie, I got a little too hot yesterday. I literally quit in after the first 5 steps. And by the way, these instructions are not the easiest to read as far as the illustrations go, but it was like 103 and I was sweating so hard in the in this garage. So it's about 7 a.m. Sunday morning. I'm gonna try and whip the rest of this thing out here real quick before it gets too hot, because I want to be charcoal grilling some burgers tonight. Just want to show you all something real quick, and this is going to be in the beginning, but we're skipping to step 15, and that's because of these two bolts right here in the middle. And that's these two bolts right here in the middle. So do these at the very beginning. It is literally the same 1/4 inch, what does it call it? Let's see here, 3/4 hex bolt. There's 4 of them, 3/4 hex bolt, but once you get to this point, obviously you would need to get a wrench to do these, but if you do them at the beginning, you can just use a screwdriver. Cuts down on needing another tool. So that's as far as we got yesterday. You can see I just got this put on. There's a couple of braces that get screwed in on here. I'm not exactly sure what they do. What I do feel is some sticky film on here, which obviously tells me that I'm gonna have to fire this thing up and burn off the film. But just remember, that's your model and serial number. So that's on the back. So we're here, change right there. We're looking at it from the front right there. So that's how we're gonna work on it today. So next piece we're putting on here is this tub right here. And I'm going to be 99.99% sure that that is this piece. Here's the vent. So you're gonna have this side, which is the gas side base, this side, which is the charcoal side base. There's what's gonna look like from the front. By the way, pro tip from not a pro, but you could use a cordless screwdriver on this. I'm not going to, just because I don't know how soft some of these screws are. And quite honestly, a lot of the threads are painted and I don't wanna cross thread anything. So I'm just gonna use old-fashioned hand and regular screwdriver power to do this. I don't wanna strip anything out. So this is the next piece that goes on, and it is going to slide in on the bottom here this way. And the reason why I don't have it in there yet is I wanna illustrate to you. There's a point two steps ago where you have to put these clips right here in. You wanna make sure that the hook side is facing out on each side and on the front here. Because when you slide these in, this is gonna slide over your hooks, and that's gonna be your stopper. This does say wheel side, so it shows you exactly how it's gonna go in, but it's going to slide in right under here. And there's a bracket over there, and there's the bracket over there that it attaches to, and this is the stopper. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. There we go. So attached here, attached here, attached here. I'm going to attach the gas panel to the front next, but the one thing I did want to touch on was this. I know you want to go through and unwrap everything. Just leave this wrapped until you're ready to hook it to your bottle. That way, if it's slinging around, it doesn't smack and break the plastic around the connection that goes to the propane tank or whatever. Then you're going to have to end up replacing a hose or whatever. So just another pro tip from a non-pro. Okay, putting this on was actually a pretty simple process. Just remember that a lot of this is sheet metal. So if your holes don't line up exactly, and these were just for the bolts, you can push this stuff with a little nudge. It'll go right where it needs to go. And just remember, don't tighten everything down until you get the whole thing on, then tighten it down. When I say the whole thing, I don't mean the whole grill, but the whole piece you're working on. And yeah, so there's our gas control. I'm not going to show you putting every single piece on. Some of the instructions are literally self-explanatory, like putting the shelf on. It's 4 screws in there. But I will tell you that the people at Chargrill are very smart, and they had you put this tray on as one of the first items, because they knew no matter what you put in here, no matter how big it was, somehow it was going to fall in, and if it hit the ground underneath, it was going to run away. But even a screwdriver falling in there. But yeah, so let's keep going on this. So tiny flaw in the instructions, and that is with hooking up the wires for the igniters. So the illustration doesn't really show you very well, but you can't see it once it's on because it's dark. So if you flip your grill on its back, you can see where the 2 igniter switches just straight plug in right there. And be careful with them because it really is bendable. So just be careful with that. They're a little fragile. Super important tip here. You ever, as a kid, watch Sesame Street or the Electric Company? They have that little game, which one of these things just doesn't belong? Which one of these things is not like the other? So when you're putting the smokestacks on, you got two that look like that should obviously go on the same lid, and then one that looks like this, which would be like for your char grill side and using it as a smoker. But very important, do yourself a favor, once you have these attached, which is 2 bolts each, don't try and pick them up by this, because these are not welded in and you don't want to drop your lid and dent it. They pull in and pull out. It's not super easy to pull them out, but if you tried to lift that lid just by those stacks, you're going to be super upset when that thing hits the ground and gets scratched or dented. We are now to the point where we're putting the lids on, so a little tricky if you're doing it by yourself, but there is a hinge pin here that threads in, and it's going to have a cotter pin that goes on that side. And then there is a pin, if you will, that slides between both of them that attaches both of the inner lids. So you're going to have to put both lids halfway on at the same time, then slide the pin all the way through and put the cotter pin in it. So if that makes sense, here we go. I didn't film that, but I was able to do it myself. It would definitely be a lot easier if you have somebody helping you. So I put this pin in first. I slid this pin in about halfway through. Then I put this lid on. I was able to hold the lid with one hand and hold it up at an angle where I could push this pin through with my right hand, even though I'm left-handed, +1 to me. And then once that pin was through, it'll just sit there, and I held it up and got the right angle on this pin to start threading that through. So now I'm just going to tighten them up and put the cotter pins in. Another quick tip for you, when you put this pin in, do it so that you have access to the hole for the cotter pin. You know, just make sure that you can get it in there, because once you have both of these lids weighing that pin down, it's going to be hard to spin it around. Putting in the warming racks, so it's very simple actually if you're looking at the instructions, but as you can see, these literally, they just slide on like so. There we go. And then these are going to attach there. Now, don't get ahead of yourself and not read the instructions. The only 2 places you have to put bolts are here. These stay loose so they can float. Good luck again if you've got the Les Grossman sausage fingers. Hopefully you appreciate that. And as far as how tight they need to be, I mean, they just need to be held on there. There's no lock washer put on it or anything like that. So let's back it up. Look at that. Okay, there we go. There we go, warming rack. So rinse and repeat on the other side. Alrighty, we got both warming racks in. So 1, 2. Gotta love it. So we're putting in the flare-up shield. They literally just set in. You've basically attached anything that's going to go with a nut or a bolt. You've already attached about 99.9% of it. So we're just going to run through this flare-up shield. Now we got to put in the ash pan. And again, if I haven't said this already, there is a film on everything in here. So this thing has definitely got to be used prior to cooking anything on it to burn all this stuff off. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the coating, the sheen on there. It's an oil that I guess they put on here to keep it from rusting while it's sitting in a box waiting to ship. But everything else right now is just setting it in. Yeah, the ash pan doesn't connect to anything as far as I can see. There are 4 cooking grates. Funny how they pack these things with styrofoam and stuff in between them so you don't scratch them when they're literally just going to get about a 500-degree burn on them here shortly, and so that really doesn't even matter. When you put your tank secure bracket on, leave it hand tight. It's made to move up and down so you can put your propane tank in there. It's going to sit the edge on that little lip, and then this edge is going to go up. It's going to slip down over the lip, and it's going to hold your tank on there. That's why this is dented in. Go figure. That's it, we're all put together, and you can see what it looks like. Here we go. Yeah. I'm gonna take this out in the backyard, set it up. I'm gonna replace old Bessie, I don't call it Bessie, but the old gas grill that we had. Now I'm happy to have some charcoal And I already have a smoker back there, so I really won't be smoking on this thing at all. Extra little items they gave you was the hook to pull the grates out if they're hot, rib racks, and I won't be using those because, like I said, I have a smoker also. But this is going out in the backyard. We're going to fire it up to burn all that film off of it. Okay, everybody, so there we have it all put together. We're about to cook some burgers on here. I'm going to show you in a minute, but hopefully this helped you. If you get one of these, we bought this at Lowe's. If it helped you at all, if you give me a thumbs up. There it is put together with the smoke rolling out. Catch you later. Okay, so here we go. We're cooking on charcoal. There we go. It was holding a 350 degree temperature, and I don't know if you can see my misters going off there, but keeps me nice and cool while I'm grilling. Have a good one.